In this VideoNet interview, I'm speaking with Andrzej Kudelski, CEO and Chairman of Kudelski Group. Hello, Andrzej.
Hello.
At IBC 2010, we're obviously seeing a lot of activity around connected TV. And I just wonder, once online content finally lands on a big wide screen, is that a threat to pay TV? And can they continue to maintain their preeminence in the customer home?
I think it's rather an opportunity. I think that more the complexity is becoming important in a home, more you need some element to structure this complexity. And I think that the operator in pay TV will see the role evolving, but I think they have a very important role to make everything being connected in a way that can be user-friendly rather than user-hostile.
Okay, I mean, do the pay TV operators themselves need to get a presence on those connected devices as well as their set-top box world, which they dominate now?
So, of course, the pay TV operators will need to extend their presence outside of the classical broadcast over satellite, cable, or even IPTV. And one of the key elements is to consider that the content should be available on many different types of support. Not only what is nice, but also to be able to follow some trends. So suddenly you have a new device that people are really interested to try, and you need to have way to can interface such kind of nice devices just appear, like you have as the latest iPad. And that are just example of how this ecosystem is evolving.
And is it fair to assume then that even if you have a PC-based online service, that won't be enough?
I think that you cannot just compare PC with TV. You will not use your TV to make your bank payments. PC has some very nice features, but in terms of really taking some good time to relax, that's maybe not the best solution. So you need to take into account that you have different form factors that are well suited for some application rather than another one. And we need, and like we have seen in the last 20 years, it's not the people that have adapted themselves to the computer, it's a computer that has become more user-friendly. And we have the same with television, where all the technology needs to be as transparent or as invisible as possible to really make the life of the people easier.
And do you think that the set-top box can remain the key device for this convergence? I mean, are we likely to see the over-the-top coming through the set-top and maybe multiple DRMs, multiple codecs on set-tops?
The key question is, will the set-top box of tomorrow be the set-top box that we know for now? And I think that will be an evolution. But I think that one of the key elements and the key success factor of television is to be pretty simple. And I think it's not a good idea to put too many things inside a set-top box or inside a device that is connecting the pay TV operator with the end user. And if you take, for example, another example that is Apple, one of the key strengths that they have is not what they have decided to do, but what they have decided not to do, just to keep the things simple and as close to the end user as possible.
And regardless of what device this happens on, is it necessary to have the services all blended in one place as far as the user experience is concerned? So the broadcast, the on-demand, the over-the-top, it has to be right there in the same place? You
need to have something where the things are well interfaced and well interconnected. Because at the end, if you are interested to relax, you are interested to get access to different source of content while keeping something where you don't need to use 5 different devices to be sure that you get the content you are interested on. And if I'm coming back to your previous question, do we need to have different codec in, for example, a set-top box? I think most probably no, but what will be important is to have solution to make different devices being able to be interconnected by each one sharing some elements that may be a common language.
And will the user interface be the key glue, if you like, in this connected, converged world?
It's absolutely essential, as it has been for the computer. If you take computer 40 years ago, only specialists very well trained were able to do very simple operation. All the efforts that we have seen for the last 20 or 40 years is that for 100% of extra computation power or complexity in the product, about 50% has been used to provide new features, but the 50% just to simplify the way it has been used. So basically, all the extra computation power, interconnectivity is used to make the life of the end user simpler. And don't forget, it's not to the operators that the technology needs to be sold, but to the end user in a way that it's as user-friendly as possible.
And in terms of simplicity, I mean, content discovery, we hear a lot about that. I mean, is that the key in terms of simplifying this new experience?
It's one of the key, but I think the most important thing is to have elements that are as intuitive as possible. And of course, the way people are thinking is also slowly evolving, but it's evolving. And if you look at, for example, the search tools are becoming something very important, but they are not enough to have something that is really user-friendly.
And would you say that the UI is becoming mission critical, that you can actually differentiate a service through it and maybe attract new customers or lose them if you get it wrong?
Absolutely. If you take just average user interface, it may become a disaster. So you need to have something that is outstanding. But please, don't forget, outstanding is not saying that the expert will like it. You have different profile of viewers, and you need to have something that is simple enough to have somebody that is not with a technical background being able to use it and to even not think that it's something technical.
Okay, and just finally, obviously operators are having to do more and more, it seems, for the consumer. And in this multi-screen or connected experience, can they actually make new revenue, or is this something they just have to swallow and, just to keep people on platform?
I think it's a real opportunity to create new revenue stream. But don't forget, we are not having a fixed target. It's a moving target, and one of the best way to generate new revenue is to think at new business model. If you take, for example, mobile phone, they have been able to generate new revenues, not in a way they were generating in the past. So you have different opportunity, especially when you have some people interested to have a multitude of different devices, and then you may think about new business model that are not something that will shrink the margin, but is an opportunity to get some new revenue.
Okay, and are we looking now at a new digital moment in the sense that if you don't adjust fairly fast, you won't stay in the game?
That's basically one of the key rules in the technological world. It's basically what is taking 10 years to happen in some activities is taking about 1 year in our sector. And the ones that just continue to do what they were doing for the last few years would just, if not disappear, have market shares that will dramatically shrink.
Okay, all right. Well, Andre, thank you very much for your time. It was really nice speaking to you.
Thank you.